Hello everybody. Today we are going to review the movie Vacation Friends. I'm going to add this to the December reviews, but it did come out August 27th, so that is way away. But Christmas and comedies, it just fits so well with these ones, in with that category for sure, because I wanted to do something a little different for the month of December, because the Christmas movies, I mean, they're really cutting it close probably, and I will do the Home Alone series for sure though, because I feel like that's just a classic series to do. I'm sorry, I just gotta send a text. Yeah, I just felt like this really fit with that category. So, hopefully my laptop problems are over. At least, at least I'm hoping they last until, or don't last, or are gone now, because I've been, over this last couple days, currently, I've been experiencing this problem, so I did a little, shove some stuff over to my external hard drive, to kind of have it backed up just in case, and then I will make a new folder for all the other new videos that I put out, because I think I have enough now for every month that I should be actually a-okay. I think we've got right into like next February going. I might make some changes as I go, so if I have an update video ready, and if I have another update before that, before you guys see this, you will already know about it by then. So now I've kind of rambled on for the first 2 minutes, and I need to turn my phone back on so I can pull up the main cast, because I can't remember everybody's name. But this movie was about this, well, it's called Vacation Friends, so I guess you can kind of somewhat maybe guess the plot point from the just the title itself. It is about this couple that is going on vacation, I guess kind of like their honeymoon, or no, not their honeymoon. That would be a little weird. I guess they're going on one last hurrah before they have to go back home and get married, just to kind of de-stress and kind of just take their minds off things and let loose a little bit and kind of have some fun. But I guess he hadn't even really proposed to her yet, and that was his plan, was to propose on this vacation, right? So they end up seeing this couple on this jet ski at the very beginning of the movie. And he goes, those two people look kind of crazy. So they actually end up going to their hotel room, and their hotel room is completely flooded due to the fact that the people above them actually overfilled their jacuzzi, which turns out to be the people that were on the jet ski. So they offer to stay, let them stay in their suite, which is the most expensive suite in the entire hotel. They are in Mexico, by the way. They are vacationing in Mexico. So this couple, named Ron and Kyla, are the two that allow this other couple that are just kind of vacationing there, trying to just see all the sights and so on and so forth, sort of thing. The typical vacation, not the, exciting one. So Ron is played by John Cena. Marcus is played by Lil Ray Howery, who was a stand-up comedian, I guess. I actually read a little bit of his bio, and he was just in Free Guy as well, which will actually, I think, probably be, I think I added it to this month. And I think it said he was in Get Out too, and that was a really good movie. I might actually have to go back and rewatch that, because it was a pretty good movie as well. Meredith Hagner played Kyla, and Yvonne Orji played, or Orjai. It could be Orjai, because it is Orji. I'm going to go with Yvonne Orjai. I could be butchering, I could have been right the first time, but she played Emily, which was Marcus's fiancée now, that he's proposed to her at the beginning of the movie. Obviously, his first plan didn't go well, because when they went to open the doors to their suite, the whole room was flooded and the rose petals just come out. So as the movie goes along, things get a little bit crazier. I wouldn't really say too crazy, but they definitely start to become friends with Ron and Kyla as they go along, and some of the stuff that happens is kind of spur of the moment, and Ron's mentality to life is you just gotta float. If you just float through life, kind of just go, I guess kind of like the live every day like your last mentality sort of thing, but in a very different kind of way. If you just float, everything will just work itself out. Because he did say that they spent their entire like life savings on this one room and the boat rental that they had and all this other stuff. They they let they let Marcus drive the boat, and he says, "Look out for the rocks," and ends up actually crashing the boat. So that was kind of funny. And as you go along, you find out that Ron is a park ranger. Uh, so I guess he must be like search and rescue type thing as well. And you find out a bunch of stuff about these guys. They're certified to do a whole bunch of different jobs. Um, Kyla works for a homeopathic doctor, so she joked about getting the beneficial thing was getting free drugs, right? So that was kind of funny on the boat. And I guess he had some run-ins with the law, her boss, the main doctor that she works for. So, but I guess it was because of something else he was selling. It didn't even have anything to do with like his actual practice. It was just, yeah, something totally random. I forget exactly what it was. But you do find out quite a bit about John, his background. He's an ex-Green Beret, which actually ends up winning over Emily's father at the end of the movie because he was also a Green Beret. So Emily's father coin checks him, which I guess is something they do because they have this little coin with them that says that with the Marine logo on it, I think, or maybe whatever. Would it be faction in the Marines? I don't want to misspeak on that because yeah, I'm not really sure how the. I guess military has factions, right? So the Marines would probably have factions too, wouldn't it? Depending on, yeah, I suppose I'm right there. So anyway, they have this wild, crazy night, and Marcus kind of is coming in and out of it during what's going on, and he thinks at one point that well, I guess it wasn't an accident. He thinks that he had somehow, through the night, slept with Kyla. So he asks his wife, or his fiancée the next morning, he asks Emily the next morning, I don't know why I keep saying that, he asks Emily the next morning, do you remember anything? And she kind of plays it off like, no. So when they leave Mexico, they're thinking they're never going to see Ron and Kyla again, so he doesn't have to worry about it, right? And then 7 months later, they're having their wedding, and things are already kind of going a little rocky as it is anyway. So John and Kyla show up to the wedding all of a sudden. And that's where things kind of turn south, but it wasn't the fault of Ron or Kyla at all. They were actually, turns out they're actually extremely nice people, even though they have a very, I guess, kind of quirky way of showing it. But they get up at one point because Ron invites all of Marcus's work buddies, and Marcus does own his own company. At this point, Emily's dad really has absolutely no respect for Marcus, and he doesn't help himself by saying that things got a little wild sexually their last night in Mexico, and he slept with Kyla, and Kyla's baby is his. So obviously, Emily's dad gets up and says that he'll never marry her, his daughter, and then she says Marcus didn't, oh my god, I keep thinking of Ron's name, I don't know why. Marcus didn't sleep with her, I did. Turns out, I guess Marcus was just awake while the two of them were doing stuff on top of him, and he just was so drugged out that he didn't really realize what was happening. He just thought he was sleeping with her, and it turns out it was actually his wife. So then, of course, Emily's dad turns to him and says, "What have you done to my daughter?" And she says nothing. and then they end up kicking Ron and Kyla out of the wedding because they think that they've screwed it all up for them. Marcus does lose the rings down the sewer, and it wasn't Ron's fault at all. I just kind of found that whole scene funny, why he would freak out on Ron at that point. Now, him pawning the rings to bet against his two friends, or his, I guess, brother-in-law and his buddy from his gym, he conned them so good. He played so poorly on the first 16 holes, and then I think it was hole 17 or whatever. He said, if I can hit the green on this hole, it's all or nothing. I win. And of course, Marcus's brother-in-law is so confident that his friend's going to win that he throws in the car, and turns out what I thought was true was true. He ends up getting a hole-in-one. Ron gets a hole-in-one, and I knew he was conning them from the beginning because was thinking, how can somebody play that poorly? And then all of a sudden he goes to double down, and I'm like, yep, he's conning them. So they get the car, they get back to the rings, and then Marcus drops him down the chute when Ron realizes that there's a bird about to crap on him. He stops him and knocks the rings out of his hands by accident. So they do actually get the rings back for them. I'm not sure how half the stuff happened with these guys, because Ron just seemed to kind of be... He definitely had a golden horseshoe. Let's just say that. He had very good luck with certain things. So they give them the rings back as a present. By this point, they've already kicked them out of the wedding, and now they're like, oh my god. It was kind of a sad moment, actually, because you find out that... I mean, you could kind of feel, definitely, that Ron cared for Marcus. He didn't think he'd ever find a friend after he lost his buddy in the military, I guess. And he was happy to find Marcus as a friend again, because he reminded him so much of his old buddy Charlie. And who played Charlie? I don't know if it says here or not. I guess it doesn't. Oh well. Yeah, he lost his buddy Charlie when he was in the military, serving in the military. So I guess Kyla kind of writes this piece that says part of Ron died. Oh my god, now I'm mixing up their names too. Just the other way around it. Part of Ron died when Charlie died, so it was nice to finally meet somebody that brought the happiness back out of Ron again, and Marcus did that for him. So Kyla mentioned something about Waffle House having the best steaks or whatever early on in the movie, when they're trying to decide a place to cater for them. And of course, Emily's mother just laughs at that. Where was I going to go with this? So yeah, they go around to every Waffle House and finally find them and bring them back to the wedding. And then that's when Ron and Kyla say that they're going to get married. They are naming the baby after Marcus. That was the whole big thing at the wedding ceremony, after Marcus had freaked out and started a fist fight between just a whole bunch of random people, his coworkers, his brother-in-law, the father. God, it was just a huge mess. But the father does gain respect for him the next day, when he actually goes out drinking with all of his working buddies, with all of Marcus's working buddies, and they tell him about how his first marriage ended, and how he paid for all his employees during the recession to get them through out of his own pocket, and they've made the money back now, and now he knows that he's actually the owner of his own business. But I guess he never really cared to ask beforehand. I guess he just always kind of thought of him as a lower class citizen, which is really sad, because owning your own business is a lot of work regardless of what it is. So yeah, it takes a long, especially a construction company. Like, do you know how bad that would be during a recession when you can't build a thing? Like, I know some jobs you could probably work through the recession, right? But not that one. It would be very, very difficult to make money on that. So anyway, now it seems that Marcus and Emily's dad are good again. or I guess good in general. And Ron and Kyla have picked a destination wedding. So can you guess where they go? Mexico, because they actually told Marcus and Emily to get married in Mexico the first time, just between them, because they feel like they've become really good friends. Even though Marcus kind of goes off on them and says that they're not friends near the end of the movie, and I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, this guy's anger levels was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, he just flew off the handle for really, I mean, honestly, thinking about it now, he really flew off the handle for no reason because, yeah, John and Kyla weren't bad people. They just had a different way of going about life. Like, honestly, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything wrong. So they were just the opposite of what I guess they were a mixed. Yeah, they were the opposite type of people as opposed to Marcus and Emily, right? So I think that's why this movie worked so well, just because it was like instead of having like just a random love interest kind of thing, it was like polar opposite couples, which was really, really interesting to have that as a movie concept. I don't think that's ever really been done before quite this way, but it worked really well. And the oh my god, the movie was hilarious. John Cena kind of reminds me of, in this movie, he kind of reminded me a little bit of like Dane Cook. And maybe it was just the hair, but his comedy, his delivery and his comedy in this just kind of seemed to come effortless. And I felt like maybe I don't know, he could have met with Dane Cook. I wouldn't have even known the difference if, like, I think the only other person that would have fit this role was probably Dane Cook. It was just, he just did a phenomenal job at it, at playing that part. Like, and I know he can be serious and funny, but I think this was probably John Cena's best role as the funny guy, I guess you can say. I just feel like he's very, like, this showed his true diversity as an actor, I would say. I don't really know if he's really kind of gone that far out of his, like, comfort zone, I guess you could say, or like his typecast type of deal where he's like the action superstar. I mean, he was still Green Beret in this movie, I suppose, but he was more of, yeah, he was more of the funny guy, right, in this movie. And oh my god, the four of them had such good chemistry but throughout the movie, which I find is, I'm starting to find it really makes films better, even if the film as a whole isn't good. If the actors are doing a really good job, it kind of makes up for the rest of it being lackluster, I guess. But this movie wasn't. This movie wasn't at all. I have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's. I really don't have a criticism of it. I just feel like a 9 out of 10 is just the score it deserves. And I know, now I've probably forgotten to do this in a couple of videos now, but IMDb gave it a 5.8 out of 10, which seems awfully low. Awfully low for what this movie was. I thought it was an excellent job. I thought the cast had chemistry. I thought the comedy was really good. The jokes were funny. Some of them were extremely like, some of them were kind of like on the line, but I guess this movie is rated R, so it does make sense. I was kind of actually surprised to see this on DisneyPlus, but I do believe that DisneyPlus is going to start doing, or Disney itself is actually going to start tapping into the more R-rated section of films. So this might be kind of like the forefront of that, as, or like, I guess maybe like the diving board, the metaphorical diving board for this, as they kind of dive into that side of the spectrum, I guess you could say. But other than that, that's all I have to say about this movie. So as always, like, share, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this film once you've seen this, because it did just come out today. Today is August 27th, so, but by the time this review comes out, everybody will hopefully have seen it that wants to see this movie. So if you have seen it, comment down below your thoughts, and if you haven't seen it, comment down below your thoughts. Jeez, I'm just rambling now. Sorry, I usually say if you have seen it, comment down below, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because your opinion could be different than mine, and everybody's opinion is different. But I think it was a great comedy film, and a great comedy slash drama, almost, in a way, because the end had a very interesting twist. But that's it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.